Books which have influenced me. There are indeed books and books. There are books which are Lamb said are not books at all. I have come across both the types, trashy as well as the useful, but have left their impression behind. But I shall mention only those which influenced my mind for the better. Looking back on the long vista of years, I think Jenny Eyre was the first book that I read twice and would be glad to read it a third time if somebody presented it to me. I was, I think, 15 when I first came upon it, and what appealed to me most in it was the adorable, friendly, and fidelity and affection with which Crowlett, with which Carolette Bronte had written of children. The tragic childhood of Jenny Eyre wrought upon me a certain charm of attraction as well as compression. It's generally said that the true trees tears are those which are called forth by the beauty of poetry, but the true tears are also those of a yet rarer kind, which are called forth by the beauty of goodness, and of such goodness I had an following abundance in Jane Eyre. Here, her hero Rockster is a wonderful and incomparable figure. How she came first to conceive and family and finally to fashion that perfect study by noisily, faithful, and suffering manhood was and still in a puzzle to me. The next person in of time was Shakespeare. He did not impress me at all the time. I am not ashamed to make this confession. Lured by the little, I very soon concluded that the title was supremely cynical. Cynical one. I detested Bethram and was absolutely disgusted. Helani falling in love with Farols, that bragging coward. Shakespeare was done for. I did not read anything more by him for a couple of years, having already read two or three average novels of Dickens. I begin to feel what I was qualified enough to approach the man in person, and I think I did well choosing David Copperfield as the medium of the communion with that great mind. However closely Davy's children resembled mine, how I felt go, my heart go towards him, and how I wept him and for him. I can never forget he had lost his father and was badly treated by his stepfather. I had lost my mother and was similarly treated by stepmother. His mother was weak but always loving. My father was weak and always loving. My father was weak and always loving. It seemed that Dickens had already meant to point me. Side by side with Dickens, I came under the influence of Byron. I had recently been discouraged in my love of Rufia, and his Harlow and Manfred with their burden of melancholy of them on them gave me comfort. I kept repeating to myself. But there was only a temporary phase as soon as I came over my ill advised inf- infatuation for Rufia. I hated Baron, for I loved life. Wonderful Wordsworth. Wordsworth, I thought might give me solace, but his transcendentalism and philosophies scared me away, and I found comfort and an echo of my heart is Shelley's unbridled desires. How long I may continue under his charm, I do not know. His idealism, his hope for mankind, his pleasure of intellectual beauty, sympathy for the sympathy for the woes of the suffering humanity have an interesting appeal for me. My days are in the yellow leaf, the fruits and flowers of love are gone. The worm, the canker, and the grief are mine alone.